All right, so with this little screencast I'm making for physics, and I'm making it so that you will be able to do your charts in your Google Sheets as the instructions for yesterday's physics lab state. I emailed you. Oh, did I email you? I posted the data tables in Schoology for you to use for those who weren't here to use those particular data tables. So you'll need to look in the Schoology assignment for graphical analysis. And then I'm going to have this little video on how to do your graphs in Google Sheets. Okay. So the first thing you'll do is you'll just open up Google Sheets. Okay. Just open you up a blank Google Sheet. And so I'm going to go here to Schoology, open up the graphical analysis lab. So our lab handout is attached below, you see, and then these are the data tables for each of our 3 stations. So we're going to do station 1 first. So let me copy down these numbers real quick. We got 1.59 for 1, 3.19 for 2, and 4.41 for 3. And then for the larger masses, washers, we have 2.43, 4.80, and 7.17. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my Google Sheets, and I'm just going to label this Station 1. And then I'm just going to put my numbers in. I don't want to put in units into my columns. If I want to make headings, I can. So we could do this small washer, mass, large washer, and mass. And then, so 1 was 1.59. For 1 large washer, it was 2.43. 2 of them was 3.19. 2 large ones was 4.80. 3 of them, 4.41. 3 large ones, 7.17. Okay. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight. So I'm just going to drag over and highlight those 2 columns because I'm going to put washers. My number of washers is going to be my independent variable, and my mass is going to be my dependent variable. So independent variable first, then dependent variable. I'm going to go to Insert, Chart, and I want to make sure that I have a scatter plot. So I'm going to move myself around if I can. There we go. So I want to have a scatter plot. So I'm going to need to come over here under Setup and scroll until I find Scatter. There we go. Scatter. Okay. And so that's going to put the first set of data on there. I want a trend line. I need to do these aggregate. So I want to put that, click that. I'm going to customize series, trend line, and then under label, I'm going to use equation and show r squared. So that's going to put my equation of the line up here. This r squared lets me know that this is a pretty straight line. So this part right here is the equation of my line. Okay, so there's my slope, there's my y-intercept. All right. And then I can drag this around. Once I get my mouse on here, yeah. I can drag this down here. So now what I'm going to do is put the second set of data on here. So I'm going to go back and highlight that. I'm going to go here and get these 3 little dots and go to Edit Chart. I'm going to add series, and it's going to pop up the other set of data that I highlighted, which was the, wait a minute, is that right? I'm going to do C3 to C5. Okay. C3, C5. And then I'm going to add series D3, D5. Oh, that's not right. Hang on. I need to take that one. There we go. So I want the mass columns to be on there. So that's what I have. The B3 through 5 and the D3 through 5. The A and C are my x-axis down here. Okay. And then I can also go to customize and do a trend line there as well. So customize series, trend line, label, use equation, show R values. Okay. So now I have trend lines, equations, and R values for both of my lines. Okay. There we go. And that's it. And then station 2 and 3, you'll do the same kind of thing, except thankfully, with those two stations, you're just going to have one line per graph. You don't need to do two of them. You're not comparing two things. But you do need to make sure that you have identified what your independent variable and your dependent variable are each time. And if you read through the actual lab, it tells you to plot length versus surface area, or volume versus density. So in those cases, the surface area and the density are going to be on your x-axis because they're going to be your independent variables. And then the length and the volume are going to be your dependent variable. Just like in this lab, the mass was our dependent variable, the number of washers was our independent variable. And you'll graph both of them, give me a trend line, and an equation, and then it will ask several questions about those. So that's how you make a graph using Google Sheets. Okay, and then you'll use, so for station 2, you'll use this table. Make sure you just put the final number. Do not put the unit in the actual table. So for station 2, the numbers that are going to go in your table is going to be 1.4 and 2.0, 3.2 and 4.5, 3.2 and 10. Okay, it's not going to be, don't put any units in there because that will really mess with the computer. It won't know what to do. And the same here. Don't put any units. Just put the numbers in each of those. Okay? All right. And then when you submit, you're going to submit the handout here with all the questions answered. And you're also going to submit your Google Sheet with your graphs on it. Okay? All right. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.